All right, there we go. We've taken a hit over here with on table one. Little Outlaw is our target. There's a $50 bounty on his head. If he has it, I guess if he has aces here, I'm done. Come on, avoid the ace. Nice, nice little double up. So the goal is we're going after a little outlaw. He's our target right here. There's a $50 bounty on his head. He's got quite a bit of money on table one. Table two, he doesn't have as much money. We're sitting pretty good against him there. So we'll have to just kind of see how this goes. You know, we got a full ring on table one. You know, 6 max on table two. Hopefully you can hear me okay. My keyboard's funny. My R's don't want to work. 9-7 I'd like to play, but since the outlaw's not in, you know, he's our target. So just get out of the hand. No need to go after it. You know, no need to be playing bad hands in middle position like that. All right, because he raised, we're going to stay in with a7. You know, it's really not a good hand to stay with, but it's definitely something I'm willing to gamble a little bit with, knowing that you know there's going to be there's $50 on top of this guy's head. And you know we went ahead and you know hit nothing. Flop was dud dud dud. So we're going to go ahead and just check fold. You know, as soon as there's a bet, we're laying it down. Now this guy here, I mean, he'll bet with anything. He's a very aggressive player. You know, I doubled up through him earlier on this table, and he's definitely a nut when it comes to playing. That's a nice hand, but you can see exactly what I mean. I mean, the guy plays pretty wild. I didn't want to see the action there. So he had king queen ace king. Yeah, I can understand. All right, so Low Outlaws called me. I'm not a big fan of jacks, but you know I'm gonna play him like I have aces. That's my plan. A lot of times on full flush, you're gonna notice that there's a lot of pairs that are on the board, and people have pocket pairs in their hands also. So you know it's definitely common. So that was the good. He didn't have anything there. This will be a call. So we got a big pot going on over here. I've seen FF 2013. The guy likes to throw his money around a lot. You know, I know we know him from the Heartbeat Poker days. He's a pretty aggressive player. You know, I was able to double up through him earlier. Oh, welcome, Al. I didn't even see you on the stream there or on the table. So I mean, ace-6, I would really like to make this call because I don't believe this hit his range at all. But my best bet is just to abandon the hand and not go for it. So my interesting information over here is Jedi Master was one of the students of Owl's, and he is super tight. I mean, super tight. Wow. Let's see, what does Owl have? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna flat. I'm gonna try to set him up. And just like that, Al took a bad beat. Well, I guess it's not a bad beat. Boris was a favorite in that hand when you have queens against ace king. I was kind of hoping to get a bet out of him. But I guess I'm going to go small because this could easily hit him. It's just enough to, give me his money. Let's have some fun. I'm just going to flat with poor position here. It's a very favorable flop for me. I kind of want to see how it gets played out. And that king's going to, doesn't help me too much. It's enough for, I will make a small call. This player, Droosh, could be sitting with a king easily, but I also know he likes to steal from the button and cut off there. That's a really low bet, but I've got nothing. I would need runner, so it's best just to lay that down and let P-Boy fight for it. We're going to go ahead and raise this up to 250. Just 2.5 times the big blind with our pocket nines on the button. There was one of the students of Al. Unfortunately, I'm still lower than LilOutlaw here. But this could be a situation where maybe somebody can take some money from him, lower him down a little bit, put him in his place, get us an opportunity to get some of his cash. We're rooting for our buddy Teach over here. Come on, Al. All right, we got pocket nines on table 2. I'm just gonna flat the double donk raise. Trying to figure out what that is. I know Las Vegas will either raise or call. He was going to definitely be in that pot. He doesn't like to let things go like that. He likes to be involved. This is probably in a good enough position for me where I can flat it, and this is probably a favorable flop. So let's go ahead and bet half pot. Hopefully you have the 5 of hearts, Al. Jedi calls, he's got a monster, I can tell you that. Yeah, his raise says it all right there. When you're playing against a player that, I have a pretty small sample on the guy, but I've got 300 hands, and out of those 300 hands, he only puts money in the pot 11% of the time. He only raises pre-flop 2%. So he's definitely, a play it when he hits it player. This is a bad call. I know that. Out of position, but I figured, what, $2 to win $9.50. It's it'll be worth making a call here. And I hit air, so no good. Yeah, Rob. I am wearing a wife beater. All right, 5-8's going to be a call. We're going to fold the 7-10. This hand over here really looks good for us, so let's go ahead and come at it hard. Yeah, Rob, I am wearing a wife beater. I live in a 2-story house, and right now I'm in Ohio. I want to say it's probably 75 to 80 degrees, so it's pretty damn hot outside. So and rather than turning the air conditioning on, I just go with something like this. I wear it, and go from there. That's a bad card for me. It's kind of disappointing that I hit. I'm gonna make a call, fast call. Maybe give him a chance to say okay now. Wood, does he have me beat? I got a call. Yeah, I didn't. I almost laid that down. That was almost a lay down there, but I felt like I've been winning fairly well here, so it's worth going ahead and making that call. King 3 is a fold. And let's see here. Am I going to be able? I just noticed that I've got some stuff that needs updated. So we'll put that in. Say start. There we go. Now it's going to show us that we've got seven viewers right now. Welcome to the stream, everybody that's out there. Who all do we have? Black GMC, Pip Poker, Rob, and Soft Top. Thanks, everybody. Pip Poker, I've never seen you in here before. Welcome to our stream. All right, ace 6 will be a laydown on table 1. Queen 10. I'm just going to close. Get out of there. I'm not going to bother trying to represent with that hand. Now I'm wondering over here on table 1, we've got Al over here, the owner or the one of the leads over here on Positive Poker Insiders. I'm wondering if he's just sitting at the table taking up a spot right now for a little bit to watch LilOutlaw drop his stack a little bit. When his stack goes down, then it gives him an opportunity to go ahead and make a move on him. Could be, or or maybe he's busy on the phone or something. I'm not sure. I bet though, Rob, wearing a wife beater, you might be a little bit scared. I'm looking kind of big right now, huh? So our goal is right here, man. We want to take out LilOutlaw. Take him out, and we walk away with $50 in our pockets, baby. That's what we want. So my queen 10 here might not have been a bad play based on this flop, but I felt like I want to kind of conserve a little bit of my stack. It's my stats are horrible at this table. I've played 73 hands and I've seen the flop 42% of the time. That's entirely too much. My pre-flop raise is 18%. If I looked at somebody like these stats, I'm going to say that's the guy I'm picking on or the woman I'm picking on the entire frickin' time. Up here like PIB. Pib Boy 67. Notice he's 41-8. That's basically, and that's over a sample of 441 hands, which isn't super large, but I think it's big enough to see on here that the guy plays very very friendly. Let's say he's a friendly player, somebody that we want to get into the pots with. And I think when you look at his overall net from the what we've seen him do, it kind of reflects that. With stats like that, he's lost $313 to us. At the tables that we're at, and I really don't think that's just variance. I think that's overall, a leak in his game. Seeing way too many flops and not being aggressive enough. But you know what? I'm gonna say I've got that same freaking problem over here. I will also say that you look over here at table one. I'm at 58 hands. I'm 26-12, which also isn't very good statistics. But I am definitely playing different because LilOutlaw's here. It gets into situations where I'm going to maybe check when I've got some hands to try to get him some opportunities to get more play going, and try to backdoor into something, or not bet super strong if I've got a big hand. Because the idea is to get the $50 off of this guy's head. So you will see just a tad bit of a little bit less aggression, maybe a little bit more passive on my play. I'm gonna bet this. This I'm representing a lot of different hands. A queen could be in somebody's wheelhouse for sure. Somebody could easily have the clubs. So I figured I'd take a stab at it, see how it goes. I miss it, so I rather just check fold whenever this guy comes back and bets. My seven could be good against somebody like him, but rather than wasting my money, I stabbed at it, hoping everybody would fold. No fold happened, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay it down. I'd like to be able to play this hand over here. Oh, you know what? If Jedi Master, okay. What I said earlier, this guy is squeaky tight. I hit the seven here. I'd really like to be in here, but I'm better off just laying it down. And I'm behind. There's no doubt in my mind at this point right now I'm behind to this guy with my pair of sevens. I'm not putting him on a draw. I'm putting him on. If you got 11% range of for opening hands, that's pretty flippin' tight, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Flopzilla. Let's take a look at that. Oh, come on, move, move, move. I didn't see what happened. I'm gonna call, and he's gonna. I'll just check it. 2-2, huh, Black? GMC. This could easily be a 10, but I've got a draw here. I'm gonna go ahead and call one more card. That's one of those where there's a possibility that if I hit my flush, he could be sitting with, in this situation, if it would have been a king of diamonds, he could have had a set of kings, or he easily could be looking at a draw, or the ace 10. Just 1 second, my phone's ringing. All right. I was saying that let's take a look at Jedi being a range of 11%. When you put 11% in, this is the type of range he's got. So he's got sevens plus, and I guess Queen 10 would be in his range. But on a flop like that last one with that Jack, he's not going to bet coming at it that strong. So you could almost eliminate this. You could eliminate this, this. Let's see here, Jack. I'm gonna fold. Going back over here, I think that you could keep these. Not this. Get rid of that. I'd say you can get rid of those. I'd say that his range would have been about 6% based on that last hand. whenever the jack hits, because he's not going to bluff. I'm not putting him on the draw, because I think there was a flush draw on the board. He's not the type that's going to do that. So I mean that's kind of what my thought process was on Jedi there. Hey, thank you, Lango. Thanks, Dave. So 610's going to be a laydown, unless LilOutlaw squeezes in here. Maybe we'll go ahead and take a chance at it with them. All right, King 9 suited is one of the hands that I really enjoy playing. I'm going to go ahead and raise it up 2.5%. If I get re-raised, more than likely it's going to be a laydown. It's not. I'm not going to stick with it. It looks like we've got Jerry at the table with us. Welcome to Cripney to the table. Oh, okay, very cool. Very cool. Was I right? Very cool. Have you... Dang it, my keyboard. I need to get a new battery. I gotta type it over here. We're gonna fold the 6-9. All right, we're gonna fold the A7. So I want to mark that so that I know in the future that is Jedi. Oops. Interesting, huh? Oh, all I can do is laugh. That's kind of what that was my thought process, man. Alrighty, let's see here. All right, we've got nothing going on over here with the A7. That could have been a hand that I stuck in with, but my preference is not to play that hand there. I got some pretty solid players behind me. We know Las Vegas plays almost every hand that he's in. 6-9 suited will be a call at table 2, but it's definitely not going to be. I'm not going to call a raise unless it's unless whammy calls and it's a small raise. So I hit middle pair. This will be a check call more than likely, depending upon the bet sizing that I'm seeing here. All right, we're going to go ahead and come out. We're going to bet it. 10-7 will be a fold. We went ahead and checked the first time. I could have checked again to see another free card potentially, but I think my preference here is let's go ahead and attempt to represent the 10. I don't think either one of these guys hit the queen. They could have hit the 10, but it's, the likelihood of that is slim. I'm going to say that in this situation here, whammy is more than likely on a draw since he didn't bet the queen. He could have a 10. He could be sitting with a 10, or he could have been on the flush draw. And by that quick fold, I'm going to say it was a flush draw. So that's kind of my thinking on how I played that hand against the whammy man. We're going to go ahead and fold 5-8. All right, table 1, we got deuces. We're just going to flat here. And the idea is to go ahead and set mine. No raise. Let's just sit here, make a call, see how it goes. I'm not a fan of playing a hand like this in early position. I definitely don't want to raise in early position. Even if there's a raise, then lucky you didn't call. Isn't that the truth, Rob? I like that. True. I don't want to raise with pocket twos in early position. I rather go ahead and just flat it, see a flop and play post flop against whatever comes out. If I get lucky enough and I hit the deuce, then I'm gonna, like I just did, I'll go ahead and play it there. I'm gonna go ahead and take a stab at this. It's just a small bet, half pot bet. We've got the potential flush draw. The ace would be in these guys' ranges. So we're gonna go ahead and go 3/4 against Drooshbag. Yes, for sure, Dave, for sure. I also stream PLO, but I am not that good. All right, deuce seven's a fold, first position. Deuce seven's a fold from the button. I got I have a couple coaches that I use, and if you saw me streaming last week with Mel from one of my groups that coached me, he kind of coaxed me into being in the small blind playing. I think it was in a small blind, or maybe there was I was in a big blind and there was a small blind raise with deuce seven. I ended up losing maybe 7 times the big blind on that hand because I was representing stuff that I didn't have. He laughed at me afterwards and during the review said, "Look, deuce seven should never be played." He goes, "I don't think there's a time that you should be playing that." I don't know if I totally agree. Maybe if I've got the odds to jump into a hand like that, I would do it. But traditionally, I'd have to agree. Deuce seven isn't a playable hand. There's really no combination that's going to help you unless you've got. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a very limited amount of combinations. Sevens, 7-7, deuce deuce, or 7 deuce. Besides that, you're pretty much drawing dead. So you don't have a whole lot of combos of those hands. I'm gonna fold this. I'm gonna defend with my king four. He's gonna c bet for sure. I'll check. I don't think I. Oh wow, that's the first time in 61 hands that he did not represent. So yeah, when he checks check, I'm gonna go ahead and bet and see what I can do there. Ace nine will be a fold to the early raise. All right, what I was saying earlier, what was I was talking about, oh, 7 deuce. Let's go ahead and clear the board. So we could be looking at 7-7, deuce deuce, 7 deuce here, and 7 deuce off. So you've got really only 28 combos of being able to win with that hand. So it's definitely was a huge mistake on my part. Now, I'm not looking at bluffs too, but obviously I attempted that last week and was, very unsuccessful with that. All right, so we went ahead and woke up with ace queen on table 2. So let's go ahead and see how this plays out. We're going to go ahead and make a raise. And Whammy's a PLO player, so what I found is he really likes to call draws. He likes to see a lot of flops, as you can. I guess it's not really relevant right now, or you can't really see it based on his statistics. But what I've got on him is he does see a lot of flops. I must have hands that I've missed over time with him or something. And he also bought in for I think 31.50 or something. When I see somebody do that, my thought is, all right, that's such an odd number. That's probably the last of his bankroll. So now I'm going to say it could also mean that he's playing 5 other tables and he's got his money strung out too much over those tables. But that was kind of what my thought is. So I'm thinking that you can bet a little bit big into him, and he's not going to be able to. He's not going to defend very much. We're going to come out and bet $3. You need a very favorable situation of which hand strength is not a factor to play it in. Yeah, you know what, Dave? That's very true. I thought that I was in a favorable position last week, being in the big blind and the small blind raised me, being then last to act every time, but unfortunately it just didn't work out for me. Lost a little bit of money, and the coach over there, my buddy Mel, just laughed and said, basically in a very nice accent from overseas, he's like, "You're an idiot," was the way I took it. He's from Austria. Okay, against the outlaw, I'm going to call the ace-5. I'm going to flat and see what the, usually when he checks is when he doesn't have a hand. He's going to go ahead and take a stab at the flop, and then he'll lay it down. Those are some of the notes that I've got on him from previous play. That was the only reason I felt like I could exploit him in that situation. And I'm not going to bother going against this guy. I'm just going to fold it here. No need to play 4-10 against somebody like that. Hey, Lost in Poker. How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Come on, Al. I want to see you get back in here, play a few hands. 8-9 is going to be a fold. First act, we're not gonna take any chances of playing that junk. Oh geez, I don't know what I did. All right, so we've got ace king. I'm gonna go ahead and raise it up to 3. That might have been, I probably could have went bigger. And we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fold my big blind here. That's a huge bet. Out of position. I should re-raise him, but I think my preference is that could easily be a pocket pair. So I'm gonna think, but my plan is to call this. 5-6 will be a call. And it's a favorable draw for us. It helps us a little bit. Not a ton, but enough that enough here where we could be sitting with I'm thinking well, that's a big bet. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it down. A 10 would have improved our hand. I think if an ace would have hit, we would have probably had him beat. I honestly think if a king hit, we would have had him beat too. I don't think that I think that we were definitely in there. I went ahead and made a call here with 5-6. I have the open end straight draw, so I'm looking for either it didn't come, but I was looking for the 7 or the deuce, so I'm just going to go ahead and check it, see how this bet comes. I was calling a bet. I felt like in that situation that I can go ahead and call. Knowing the way he plays. All right, let's see here. Put a shirt on. What's up, Suited Dan? Whoa. For the new viewers, basically we are playing full flush. We are looking for LilOutlaw, who has a bounty on his head of $50 on both tables. So if I move, now he's got 184 on table one, and he's only got 82 on table two. This will probably go until, I'm guessing, 6 o'clock or so, which is another 15, another 12 minutes or so. Because I want to say that it started at 4, maybe 4:30 is when it started, and usually he runs the bounty for a couple hours. We're gonna come out. We're gonna make a raise here with pocket jacks, early position, which I don't like. This could be a situation where I could come with a bigger raise versus being in early position here. But I think I'd rather just take it slow, small raise, see how things go. And I pretty much knew that I'd be getting a call from Las Vegas. I would anticipate it a re-raise if he's got a good starting hand. So I'm going to go half pot. We saw earlier that he popped it to 10. Drush could easily be holding suited connectors or semi suited connectors. He enjoys playing hands like that here. So I figured he could be holding possibly an 8. I'm gonna check and see how. I could have bet for value, huh? I was really hoping that I was going to get a bet out of Las Vegas. And then when the bet came, I was going to go ahead and re-raise. I'm gonna kind of go back. I want to play through that hand. What did it? So I was right in regards to Drush. I said suited connectors or semi-suited. He had 6-9. I knew that would be a hand that he was going to stick around and play with on that. And then he hit top pair. So, that kept him in the pot for sure. I don't know what Las Vegas had. I should have made a river bet. Now that I go back and look at it, I would have more than likely, if it was a decent sized bet, nothing crazy, I could have extracted some more value out of my hand. All right, we're just going to check the Jack 7, and we're going to check it. I'm not calling the 8-2. Big hand there. Real big hand. I'm expecting I'm just gonna flat with my queen 6. Ugh, well, that changes things. I was hoping to play it, but I had to get my pen. It fell, or my pencil. If Outlaw was in it, I was gonna go ahead and play it. But since he folded, then I'm going to go ahead and get out of there. Let them work it out. Some small betting over here when the set hit. Same hand. Look at that. King 4, King 4. Big difference, though. Table 1. King 4 first act. Table 2, I'm on the button. If I had weaker players over here, I would definitely raise. But I know that a raise here, I would get called from both of these guys. Well, for sure, one of the two, I guess. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rob. Alrighty, king 4. I'm just going to flat. And we'll check. Dave could easily be sitting with something. Alright, well. I'm going to make one bet. I saw what this guy just did a little bit ago, how slow he played his fives. So, you know, he could easily be slow playing there. Well, I'm in a situation now where I've got more than the outlaw, but it's going to take a lot to see him get, you know, be shoving that stack around. Jack 4, fold. All right, so I got that's good English. I have 9-3 on the button with Rezaman, who was already in the hand. That's interesting. I wonder what. I'd like to know what type of shove range Droosh has here. I guess we're going to see it. Is this jacks? Small pocket pair? Aces? Kings? Do we have ace king against ace queen? Ace king against jacks? Oh my god, 3 callers. Sixes. Look at this. Oh, that was sick. Just sick. All right, need to get some notes there. And obviously, you know, both these guys are going to make a call. You know, I'm calling with kings. I'm calling with aces. All right, so we're just going to... The idea is with pocket fives is we're just going to flat this. Take it and see if we can, you know, set mine. I'm going to make one call. That ace is definitely going to be a scare card. I felt like he easily could have had me beat, but I think that, you know, just based off of all the information I have on the guy, I felt like I could go ahead and you know, make a play at him there. All right, I'm gonna call. So the Lango, I seriously thought about turning the stream on for FT last night, but after 17 hours of grinding and 5 a.m., I could barely even keep my eyes open. I'm sure, man. Hopefully, you had a good session. Again, I'm just gonna call. So this bet will be a fold. You know, that gives me a lot of information. Big over bet like that. Totally agree, Lango. Totally agree. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, bad position. I'm going to flat with King Jack. Eights, I'm going to This is a huge raise. I'm going to call, but I know I'm going against a pocket pair here. So this is more of a set mine situation. We're going to bet the top pair king kicker. I'm going to go ahead and lay down the eights. And here, I'm just going to check. He's got me. Oh, okay. I put him on bigger than that. Very nice. So I don't think I would have, if I would have bet, he might have easily re-raised, and I don't know if I would have made that call there. Oh, you know what? We need to make 3 times the big line. I should be going 4 times with this guy in the table, but all right. So we went and just took it down. It's possibly meant to raise pot and misclicked all in, since I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. All right, we're going to go ahead and raise it up to 275. Yeah, I don't think that was a misclick by Droosh. If we would have seen, nah, I'm not going to speculate. I don't think that was the case at all. All right, I'm going to make a loose call here. Middle position, king queen off. Not a great hand to be playing, but it's one that I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. Let's play post flop and see how it goes. We're going to make a half pot sized bet with top pair king kicker. I'm going to go half pot again. Ace comes, I'm sitting with the nuts. Wow. Yeah, I am sitting with the nuts with an ace. He could have easily be on the flush draw. I do know that. Now, see, this is a situation where I rather just give the pot up than make this call. Yeah, fold. Let him have that. I'm gonna call the Jack 9 just because it's him. Certainly not a hand I like to be playing, but whenever you got a bounty on somebody, these are the type of hands that you're gonna have to play and hit on where that's least expected. Where you get one of those King 9-9 hands or something like that, and then kind of sneak in the back with that. Notice the check there. Usually the check says he doesn't have anything. But the downside is I've got too many other players in here that concern me. I'm not concerned about this card with him. This could easily have hit. This could have hit my range better than I think the other players at the table. So I'm going to go ahead and make a healthy size bet here. See how it goes. This could very easily be, a flush or a straight that I hit, two pairs, being both smaller cards. I think that it's safe to say that I'm gonna have a wider range when there's two players in there already, with the $4 raise. That I'm gonna make the call. So I felt like it was a great opportunity for me to make a steal. Welcome, WV Redskins fan. I'm assuming you're going to be one of those. You're in West Virginia and you're over there in what is it called, the Eastern Panhandle area. Being saying from West Virginia and a Redskins fan, because I think that there's many individuals on that in that area of West Virginia that are fans of Redskins. Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you. Not sure what Pie Boy 67's doing here. I hit top pair, so I'm going to go ahead and take a stab. My kicker is very weak, very very weak. But why not? Why not try for it? See what happens. Full jack three from the button. I'm gonna probably play this hand. More than likely, I'm gonna defend it unless there's a crazy ass raise. Okay. I guess I'm just no defending. I'm just gonna take it down, huh? We're gonna raise 275 with king queen. Max 32-12 player calling station. He might defend his big blind here. All right, later, man. And we're gonna check. So it doesn't look like we were able to get the the bounty. He left, the bounty stayed with him at both tables. Neither one was he successful. So my game plan is I'm going to play until my big blind at this table. I'm just going to get out of here. And we'll see what I'm going to do over here at table one. Alrighty. I do plan on stopping. I'm just gonna lay this down. So sitting out of table two. That was a pretty good session here at 51. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that table. Go to the right and what I'm doing right now is, I'm logging all my play to a text file and I'm running a converter application that is down here. Why not go ahead and play it out? See how it goes. I'm gonna go with small on the small side. That can be interpreted two different ways, and we'll show the cards 9-8. That small bet could very easily be interpreted that I'm looking for a person to call me. Oops, I meant to sit out. This will be my last hand. I'm going to go ahead and call. As I said, it's my last hand. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Ace, queen. All right, so I went ahead and raised with 9-8 off. I felt like I'm going to be in position with this hand. It's definitely not a hand I want to be playing, but I figured since I'm going to be shutting down here, why not go ahead and play it out, see how it goes. I'm going to go with small on the small side. That can be interpreted two different ways, and we'll show the cards 9-8. That small bet could very easily be interpreted that I'm looking for a person to call me. Oops, I meant to sit out. This will be my last hand. I'm gonna go ahead and call. As I said, it's my last hand. Queen nine suited plays fairly well, so it's worth making a call here to Droosh bag. See how it goes. I'm gonna flat the 275. These two players could have an 8. That's for sure. Yeah, see, a call there would have been great because then I could turn around and technically I could have shoved. I had enough outs, but I saved myself quite a bit of money, I guess, by not playing that. Alrighty, well I'm gonna go ahead and shut that down. And I want to thank everybody for watching today. Unfortunately, we didn't get an opportunity to take out LilOutlaw, but we had a pretty hell of a good day. When you look at least looking results oriented, I'm happy with that. And I'm going to go back, analyze, and play. I know that, like Rob mentioned, I definitely lost some value with my jacks, and whenever Droosh had a top pair on the board with the nines. I could have got more out of that. But overall, I'm satisfied. So thanks everybody for watching. Good luck to you, Black GMC out there. Hopefully you can, double up through one of them Jedi. Have a good one.